What is a man indicator zone? If you've never heard that term before, that's okay. You've probably seen it and didn't even know that it was actually a thing. Now, in modern defense, disguising coverages has become a really important aspect of any kind of defensive scheme. Last year in the NFL, we were about at 30% coverage disguise rates, and that's just having a too high shell, playing single high, or playing single high and running a too high shell. But how do we, especially as a defense, against these offenses that are trying to motion us to death, be able to hide our intentions, whether we're playing man or whether we're playing zone? That's where the man indicator zone comes in. A man indicator zone will show man, but post snap, we are playing zone. So how do defenses do it? First, I'm going to tell you how they do it looking at a playbook. But then, secondly, we're going to look at a clip that illustrates it perfectly what a man indicator zone looks like on the field. We're going to break down how Detroit, who played a lot of man last year. So if I'm a New York Jets fan, get ready. You're going to be playing some man next year. If we get into a predictable situation where the offense knows that we're going to be playing some man, how can we hide our intentions? And we're going to look at this is exactly the way that this is going to look. So we're going to be playing the pack. We get a bunch set. And if nothing happens, we are aligned as though we are going to be playing in man, but we are going to be running Tampa. So we're going to have two flat defenders, our two seam drops, our pull runner in the middle, and then we're going to have our two pop outs where really we're going to roll weak and then we're going to pop out strong. Now, I've put these numbers on here because this is how teams are going to do this. One of the biggest things, these are not going to be match defenses. These are going to be more of this spot drop or zone match variety, leaning heavily on the zone. And the reason why is you don't know where the motion is going to come from. So we're actually going to see the Z number one receiver is going to motion. We're going to get a bump by 3. And then 1, 2 are going to bump over, and then we're going to play this differently. So what I've done is I've put numbers so that everybody knows where we're going to be. So we have 1, 2, and 3. 3 is always going to be our pop out. 1 is going to be our flat defender. 2 is going to be playing our seam. As we get the motion, okay, we're going to get this motion. As this goes, 2 is going to stay on the back. 3 is going to stay here, and all he's going to do is pop because he's the safety. We don't want a linebacker popping out. Even though the safety now is number 2, we don't want our linebacker working the deep half. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep it where, hey, if you're traveling, you're the safety, you're going to be the top. You can notice here how this is going to look. 2 shifts over inside number 2. 3, because he was rolling, we get this replacement by the other safety. He's now going to roll to the strong side, which now becomes the weak side because we have 2 receivers on one side and we have a tight end and a receiver on the other. So everybody just kind of shifts down. So what we have pre-snap look is man. We keep man look with the motion, but post-snap, we are going to run a Tampa 2, and that's exactly what it looks like on film. Let's get into the tape. Here we have a first down. The Lions are up really big. It's in the fourth quarter. We know we're going to get a pass. So we're going to go ahead and play a little bit of man. That's what Aaron Glenn's going to call. As we get this, you can see the setup. We are looking like we are in man coverage. We have the corner on 1. We have our nickel on 2. We have our safety who's going to be on 3, and our corners pressed up. We have a classic close post man coverage look. Green Bay is going to motion. As the motion comes across, this goes from a 3-by-1 to now a 2-by-2. And you can see that we just go ahead and bump this down. So the nickel is communicating with the safety, hey, you go ahead and take that across. We just go ahead and get lined up. Now, as the snap occurs, you can see 31 is going to hightail it to the deep half. This is where the man indicator looks like. And this is a lot of times why offenses are trying to do these motions. They're going to either line up in 3-by-1 or 2-by-2, and they're going to motion. And they're going to want to see how the defense reacts. So pre-snap, everything here looks like man coverage. But then post snap, once the quarterback receives this, it all turns into zone. So you can see he's looking over here for, hey, this is where we're getting our rub concept. Now that snag concept is taken up. We have a corner who's pressed here. We have a vertical concept. Look, they're running some sort of a dagger concept opposite. When he comes over, they're playing zone on top of this. Our pole runner is going to now, instead of going to the passing strength, he's going to go to the most receiver side. So now he's going to drop over there, and the quarterback really has nowhere to go. What does he do? He checks it down, and really it's nothing more than a couple yard gain. So you can see again how these really work. It's just a numbers game. Because Tampa is what I call a whiteboard coverage, these guys are essentially X's on a board. Like I just put up numbers. You could even have it to where as we get the motion, you could have the corner take it, and he just knows that when I go back over here to this linebacker, I become 3, and now I'm deep. My corner is going to play the flat, and the linebacker is going to stay over here. What you know over here, hey, I'm now the new number 1. I cut the flat. I sit in the seam. Pole run's going to open up because he's the pole runner. That never changes. And then we get our safety work over. So you can even go even further and be like, look, if you're locked on, you're locked on. You just got to know your number on the other side or how we're going to do this. And that's how we get into these manned indicator zones. Let's look at it one more time. So we get a 3x1. We're going to get a motion. You can see 31 is priming because they probably have already said we're going to make it look like man, and then we're going to play zone. You can see 31's priming to get back because he's going to have deep half. Once he gets motion, he's going. All he knows now is I'm still deep half. I just am now on the other side of the field. The safety cuts to the flat. The corner cuts to the flat. The safety takes the deep half. The linebacker's taking the seam. Everything looks just like Tampa 2, but we gave a man indicator on the front end. Just like coverage disguise has become really important from a 2-high shell or a single high shell and then getting to something different, these man indicator zones are just as important. Hopefully this gives you an idea. So next time you're watching, you see what looks like man pre-snap, but they're able to pop back into zone. This is how they're teaching it. They're using a number system and they're treating these players like X's on a board.